Hello! In this video I'm going to talk you through the features of the Automaton Effects engine, which is part of the DJ Megaset Pro 3. The first thing I want to do is send the Automaton some audio. So I'm going to open up the deck strip of deck 1 and I'm going to find this dial down in the bottom right that says auto. I'm going to bring this up to send it some audio. And in this case I'm going to bring the gain down as well. You'll notice we have no signal coming through deck 1 now. That's because I brought the gain down. All of the signal is being sent to the Automaton. So I'm going to scroll across to the right and you'll see all of the Automaton tracks are lit up. To open the Automaton, I'm going to click on the Automaton track and I'm going to click on the open button. And this is what it looks like here. The Automaton controls 8 different effects and it controls 8 parameters of each of those effects. So there is 64 parameters in all. You can change the effect that it's currently controlling with the tabs up the top. We have a gated hybrid reverb, spectral time, spectral resonator, phaser flanger, chorus ensemble, delay, beat repeat, and a corpus. I'm going to go back to the gated hybrid reverb and I'm going to loop this track, just so we have a nice loop to work with. So once I have my effects selected, you'll see we have 8 individual nodes here. Each one of these nodes is a custom LFO that we can draw for that particular parameter, which is displayed in grey in the background. I'm going to focus on this dry wet value here, which is the dry wet of the reverb. So in this grid area down the bottom left, I'm going to click to add a point, and then on the bottom right I'm going to click to add another point, and you'll see they're now connected with the green line. This green line is what the shape of the LFO is and how that parameter will be affected. Of course at the moment it's at 0%, so we're not getting anything, but if I add a point here, you'll hear the dry wet is now opening up as we move along. If I go ahead and look at this gated hybrid reverb audio track, you'll see the dry wet macro is moving in time to the LFO shape that I just made. If I want to get rid of a point, I shift click. Let's open this up a little bit more sporadically. I'm going to add a few more points here and have it open up like that. And let's go ahead and change the size. I'm going to click in the top left here and I'll click in the bottom right. Now I'm going to hold down the Alt key and drag this to make it a curve. Let's take a look at this amount here. This is the amount of the gated part which creates a volume rhythmical gate. So let's go ahead and add this in. Now the sync rate is how quickly this gate effect happens. Let's try adding these points. That's a bit slow. I'm going to click on the clear button to remove the line. Let's try the bottom value. That's a little bit too fast, so by default the Automaton will snap to the grid. So if you find you don't have the resolution you need, you can use the up and down arrows to get more or less resolution. In this case I want more vertical resolution, so let's go ahead and do that. Now let's see what this one gives us. That sounds good, and let's make this one fast. Let's move ahead to another effect. I'm going to go to the spectral resonator and let's play with the dry wet. Let's have this open right at the start. And here's our frequency here in Hertz. Let's have this nice and low and we'll have it come up. Maybe give that a curve as well. I'm going to open the dry wet completely here. It's not going to sound amazing, but I want to show you the custom LFO curves. So with this drop down menu I can choose from many different shapes. I'm going to choose a sine. Actually I'm going to clear that. We'll make it 50%. That was too annoying. We can do a sine times 4. We can do saw up. Now another thing we can do is re-trigger. So if I... Now let me clear this. Let's have this going up and down like this. Now if I click on re-trigger, every time I click it, it's going to restart the LFO shape. So these are fun to have on buttons to do quick re-triggers of that particular LFO. We can also freeze it at any stage. So when I click freeze, it's going to pause the LFO and it's going to remain on that value. We also have a reverse, so with this enabled, you'll see it starts going backwards. Let's clear the dry wet and just have a little bit of this coming in and out. Let's go over to the phaser and flanger. Now I'm going to have this opening up to 100% and then coming down, but I don't want it to happen over 1 bar, I want it to happen over a longer period, so I can choose the length here. So let's go 4 bars. So you'll see that this node LFO is now moving over a 4 bar period. Let's have the time coming down over a 2 bar period, and we'll have the feedback coming up over a 3 bar period. We'll have the dry wet coming up just to about here. So you can hear now we've really mangled the audio with just a few effect LFOs. Let's add a few more just for fun. And let's play with the beat repeat, that's always fun. Bring the chance up. So that is the Automaton main pop-up window with its individual nodes. Down in the actual device itself, we have this area here where we can set what the default parameters are. So when I click clear on one of these parameters here, it clears everything and then it will switch that value to whatever the default is set here. Now this is a bit fiddly, it's quite hard to have this many parameters in a small window, but it works as in this is the beat. Okay, let's say I'm working with this 8th node on the beat repeat. The beat repeat is the 7th effect in the chain, and the 8th node is the 8th node. So if I look here, here is the 7th tab. If I move down to the 8th node, you'll see the default parameter is 0. So when I click clear here, this is going to reset back to 0. And this also applies if you click on clear over here in the main device, it's going to clear all of your envelopes completely. Finally, you can replace the Automaton effects with your own effects. So you'll see I have 8 tracks here that represent those 8 different effects. And what you can do is you can add your own effect. You just have to make sure you put it into an audio effect rack and then map 8 parameters to 8 different macros. So the Automaton is always going to look for the first audio effect rack in a track and then start manipulating those 8 different effects. And it will update the name of the effect and the parameters of the individual nodes if you click on the initialize button once you've replaced your own effects. And that is the Automaton.